Hey guys, Joel with Cozy Living Machine, and on behalf of Escape, I'll be teaching you all about the fresh, gray, and black waters, how to dump and fill your tanks. Let's get started. Now, first things first, you always want to wear gloves, of course. This is kind of a messy job if things go awry, and things happen. Down here on our bumper on either side, we have these little pins to pull these up and pull out our stinky slinky accessories, our sewer hose. Now with this particular hose, you might see a bayonet end and a 90-degree elbow. And that allows me to go ahead and attach this little bit here so we can set that right into the sewer holder. Now I'm preferential to the Rhino hoses. I think that they hold up the best and they're pretty seamless, but you can use whatever you have. Let's head on over here and I'm gonna go ahead and hook up our hose. So down here we have a cap, a sewer cap here. We can go ahead, twist, and pop that guy off. Now for some reason this is really difficult to get off or something like that. We have used warm water on this and it'll cause the plastic to expand a bit and give us a little bit of wiggle room there. So we've really found that only in cold temperatures. You can also apply a little bit of olive oil around there and kind of grease that guy up. We'll go ahead and I'm gonna attach our fitting here, and so that should be good and tight, and then there are little prongs that stick up there. We just want to clip that in. Now we'll take this end of the hose, and this one actually twists on, which is really nice. Now if you didn't have this and you just had just the opening there, not a problem. You can go ahead and just stuff that in there, make sure it stays, and you're good to go. I like to take out any of the kinks there, and then the way that we can dump these tanks is I always go black first. You can hear that kind of running out. Now you'll hear that run out, and with a clear connection at the end, you can actually see the contents flowing out, including paper products and things like that. Then, once this is significantly slowed down or stopped, you can't hear any more rushing water, we can go ahead and pull the gray valve. The black tank is your toilet materials. Your gray tank is your shower and sink materials. So of course, is it better to have black material in there or gray material in there? It's probably better to have, gray flushing that out. Now here's the important thing. Once this is all done, emptying and all that good stuff, you don't hear that any longer. We're gonna go ahead and close both of these valves. Now, since we're here at an RV park, I am going to leave this hose connected, but keep these valves closed. Now, the reason for it is that should I leave these valves open, what will happen is the liquids will get up to a certain level, and there's, of course, on these guys, you can imagine it's basically a big box and an opening for the pipe, right? There's a little bit of a lip. Now, liquids can get over that, but solids are gonna have a tougher time. If you have these valves closed, liquids and solids are gonna mix, especially in the black tank, and they're gonna be able to all flow out together at once. But if you leave it open, what's going to end up happening in here, and the tanks are all down here, is the solids are going to build up to a little pyramid. Not a fun thing. So we wanna make sure there's enough liquids in there. And of course, always rinse with your gray afterwards. Now, say I'm at a dump station and I'm not gonna leave it hooked up, or I'm leaving in the RV park or campground, what I can do, grab that, twist it off. There's still going to be some remnants here. And then you can go ahead, not using your freshwater hose, but a spare hose if you happen to have one. We don't carry one with us, so personal preference here. But you can drop that hose in there and rinse this guy out pretty good. And then we can take this guy, stick it right back in the bumper or wherever you hold yours, and off you go. It's very easy. Now remember to wear gloves. Very important. Hand sanitizer is not going to cover everything, right? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab my glove like this from the palm there and pull that off. So I do have this clean hand is not making contact with this glove at all. Then I can take two fingers, come from the back, and then wrap. That's it. Handled my gloves, and then we can go ahead and we can toss that out. But let's go ahead and get some fresh water. Now, we carry a little baby 10-foot hose and a 50-foot hose. Now we've got a spigot right here and our fill port is over here. So our 10-footer is not gonna quite do it. Now you can see there's a little mouse door here that I can push back and slide over. You can see that on the back side. And that is so that I can go ahead and if I thread a hose into here, and I would always use a pressure regulator because we wanna keep it about 40 PSI, somewhere in there. Go ahead and thread that in here, and then close the door and lock it, and then our hose cannot come out. Nobody's gonna, fiddle faddle with it, whatever it is. But in this case, we're just gonna go ahead and fill our tank. Let me grab the hose. Got that guy threaded on. Got this other end, and I'm just going to run a little bit of water through the hose just to clear it out. So we can turn that down, there we go. And then I'll just pop that on in there. So you can see down here, we have obviously the fill port. Now this guy will bypass your water pump. And so any water coming through here goes straight to your sink and all that good stuff. This, of course, goes to the freshwater tank. So you have nice, clean drinking water, shower water, etc. And it uses the water pump to pump everything through. And that little port, you can see water is now trickling out of there. We are done filling. Now, if you're picking up a hose, you want to make sure that it is rated for drinking water. That is a big difference from a regular garden hose. Typically, they're going to be blue or white. They could be any color, but blue or white and rated for drinking. Now, the other thing is that while these hoses might be a little unwieldy, especially at 50 feet of length, go ahead and raise one end up, and as it's coiled, you'll actually see all the water run out from the other side. So I don't like to leave water sitting in these. Not only could it become stagnant and such, but if it freezes, it will expand, and that's just not a good situation to have. And then we like to thread each end together just to make sure critters and debris does not get inside of them. But it's just that easy. We can dump, we can fill, and you're on your way. Now, one other point to mention is if you are hooked up to the city connection, so you have constant water flow, you don't need that water pump. You can go ahead and make sure you turn off that switch inside. And then when you want to pump that water yourself or use electricity, go ahead and turn that right back on and off you go. The water pumps are very quiet, but city connections are even quieter. They're silent. Now, finally, how long your tanks last kind of depends entirely on you. Now, if you're hooked up, you really don't have to worry about it all too much. Come out once every 2, 3, 4 days. Again, black tank first, gray water, close them up. And if you're connected to city water, well, that's fantastic. But if you boondock like we do the vast majority of the time, our tanks will last us with a couple of showers, washing dishes and things like that. We generally get 5 to 8 days out of our tanks, give or take. The longer the showers, of course, the quicker you're gonna have to refill. I will say there are also options for composting toilets and things like that, which can extend how long you have to go between fill-ups and all that. And it does eliminate the need for black water, but not gray water. And as you can see, well, it's really all it's in the hose. You don't have to interface with it for the most part. So I generally don't worry about that all too much, but it is a good option for those who you want to stay as much off-grid as possible. Hopefully this was helpful, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.